Hello friends, welcome to my channel Essentials of Management. Friends, motto of this channel is to evolve high standards of education and training of the subject management science in general and that of environment, health and safety management in particular. Today we are going to continue with the series Environment Management. We will have discourse 2. As I said in the last discourse, we will try to continue discussing basic concepts and terminologies. So we will have part 2 today. Here we will discuss environment, its importance and its 4 spheres. But before we try to understand various environmental issues and environmental management, it is better to understand and define various terms like environment and its 4 spheres, ecology and ecosystem, biosphere and biodiversity, nature's cycles, atmosphere, weather and climate, and importance of each basic concept. So it is my belief that unless otherwise you fully understand all these basic concepts, there is no point in going for the actual subject of environment management. So it is necessary for the better understanding of the subject of environment management and sustainable development. So let us start with environment. Now what is the definition? It includes water, air and land and the interrelationship which exists among and between, very important, there is a relationship which exists among and between water, air and land and human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganism and property. So property word is also added to this definition. So first what we understand from this, that water, air and land are the 3 elements of the environment. There is an interrelationship which exists among and between water, air and land. That means there is a interrelationship between land and water, air and water, air and land. Just try to understand how. So if you go to the coastal area, there is a interrelationship between land and water, sea water. So the coastal line is created. Now there is a air and water interrelationship. That means the elements like the carbon dioxide or the oxygen are dissolved in the water which exists in air. So in air there is oxygen, there is carbon dioxide and it gets absorbed in water till its saturation. Now there are the wind which blows from land to sea and sea to land. So day winds and night winds. Now there are storms or tornadoes created because of this air on the land. So there is a interrelationship between the two as well as all among 3. And not only there is an interrelationship between these 3 elements, but there is an interrelationship between these 3 elements and human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganism and property, because they are all part and parcel of the nature. They are all part and parcel of the environment. So can you imagine the existence of this all biosphere if there is no interrelationship between all these 3 elements? You just can't imagine it. From The food which comes from Mother Earth, it comes from the environment. What air we breathe, it comes from the environment. The water we drink, it comes from the environment. So there is interrelationship not only among and between these three elements, but there is a complex interrelationship between these three elements as well as human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganism and property. I think you have understood the definition. So environment denotes the sum total of all conditions and influences that affect our life and of all organisms. So there are n number of conditions. If we travel through the world, if we look into the geography and geology, we'll find that in some places there are mountains, there are jungles, there is sea, there are rivers, and all these conditions influence and affect the life of the organisms, including human beings. So everything in Earth system can be placed into one of the four major subsystems: land, water, living things, or air. So there are four spheres. These four subsystems are called spheres. Specifically, they are lithosphere when we talk of the land, hydrosphere when we talk of the water, biosphere it is for living beings, and atmosphere that is for the air which engulfs our mother earth. Now what is the importance of environment? Environment plays an important role in healthy living and the existence of life on planet earth. So just exclude environment, what will happen? There won't be any existence on the earth. There will be only the non-living things. So not only for the existence, it is important for the healthy living and the existence of life. Earth is a home to different living species, and we all are dependent on the environment for food, air, water, and other needs. I talked about it. Humanity's entire life support system depends on the well-being of all the environmental factors, that is, the land, air, and water. If it is well, good, abundant, sufficient, then there will be well-being of the humanity. It is a source of natural beauty and it is necessary for proper physical and mental health too. So there are not only physical needs, there are psychological needs also. If you go to a you know some tourist spot where there is nature in abundance, if you go to the mountain tops, if you travel through the jungles, what happens? The natural beauty enlighten you. It makes you elated and you become refreshed, right? So not only for your food, air and water needs, but it is needed for human psychology, uplifting of the human psychology. Therefore, it is important for every individual to save and protect our environment. Now we'll discuss four spheres. First, what is lithosphere? The lithosphere includes the Earth's crust and the upper part of the mantle. So we will not go into the geology, but you know that the Mother Earth is very hot inside, and the upper crust, which we see by our eyes, which includes the mountains, which includes the sea, right? So that lithosphere include the Earth's crust and the upper part of the mantle. All mountains, rocks, soil and minerals included in the Earth's crust are part of the lithosphere. Even the sea floor is part of the lithosphere because underwater there is a soil or land. So the sea floor is part of lithosphere because it is also made up of sediments and sand and rocks. Because what will support the water? So support is because of the which is there, the sand and rocks, sediments which are hidden under the water. Hydrosphere. The hydrosphere includes all water on the planet, the oceans, lakes, rivers, groundwater, rain, clouds, glaciers, ice cap, and so on. All different forms of water. About 70% of the surface of the earth is covered with water. We know that. The oceans contain most of this water, and this ocean water is salty and not potable. So there is only 1% of the portion of the water on the land, on the mother earth, which is usable for the plants and the animals. So fresh water is only about 1%, which say includes the rivers or lakes and other water bodies. All the water on earth forms part of the hydrosphere. Biosphere. The biosphere includes all life on earth, plants, animals and humans. So all the living things. All living things and their habitats form part of the biosphere. So every species, every animal has got its own habitat where it can have a ecosystem which is supporting to it, right? So it can live and create progeny. It is subdivided in three categories: terrestrial, aquatic, and arboreal. Terrestrial means living on the land, like different animals and the plantations, trees. Aquatic means whatever is there under sea or in river beds. So different types of plants and the different types of aquatic animals. Arboreal means the world of the birds, so which can fly, which live on the treetops. The biosphere also include life in the ocean and under the soil. For example, bacteria living on decaying plant material and the smallest sea creature and plants are part of the biosphere. So from a very very tiny fish to a large fish like whale, which is having the size more than elephant, bigger than elephant. So everything includes in biosphere. Atmosphere. The atmosphere includes all the air above the surface of the earth all the way up to the space. All gases that are present in the air are included in the atmosphere. We will discuss about atmosphere at length in a different or coming discourse. Most of the atmosphere is found close to the surface of the earth where the air is most dense. So it is like a you know engulfed, or earth is engulfed in the atmosphere. We'll look in detail about atmosphere in a separate discourse. Now, interaction of these spheres. There is an interaction between the trees and other plants and the air as they use carbon dioxide from the air during photosynthesis and give off oxygen. So these are the different ways of interaction of these spheres with the environment. There is an interaction between the plants, that is biosphere, and the soil, that is lithosphere, when they absorb water from hydrosphere and minerals from lithosphere from the soil. The soil is also used to anchor the plants. So they take roots in the mother earth. The tree biosphere produces flowers and the fruits. Animals eat the fruits and the leaves of the trees and other plants. So they use it as their food. There is a natural balance created between and among the spheres through this interaction. A interaction is established. It is very, very healthy and it is very, very balanced. So whatever interaction in the spheres are there, they are naturally balanced and healthy. Now what we have done? We have upsetted this balance. If the balance in any part of the system is changed, it affects the whole system. For example, if there is not enough water, the tree won't flourish and produce fruits and seed pods. If the air is polluted, it affects the availability of carbon dioxide to the trees and oxygen to the animals. If there are not sufficient minerals in the soil, the plants cannot grow. The changes can be due to natural causes, for example, floods and earthquakes. So we can't help when some earthquake happens, and if the huge floods occur, the balance is upsetted. But more often the changes are due to human influence. As human, we have a responsibility to understand the interactions on earth and to look after the planet so that future generation will be able to live on earth. So in nutshell, what we are doing, that we are upsetting the balance between these four spheres of the environment, and because of a lot of problems are created. So friends, in this discourse we discussed about the environment, its importance, and the four spheres of the environment. So thank you for watching this video. Friends, please resume viewing, and for that switch on to discourse 3, where we will discuss about ecology and biosphere. So friends, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.